Hold up. Here we go. Hold up. Just hit start recording. Don't worry about it. Chicago Bears have traded, per Adam Schefter, Roquan Smith and Jay Glazer, I think, to the Baltimore Ravens for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. We've still got news coming in on this, but the Chicago Bears have picked their lane. We'll talk about all that and more on today's episode, quickly, of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago Bears. Our Bears fans talk, so make sure that you get in tune with us, man. I am looking to see some updates on this. So the latest news that we have, we've got compensation updates on this. The Bears are trading Roquan Smith in exchange for a second and a fifth round pick, per Adam Schefter. Both picks are in 2023. So the Bears have added 3 picks in return for Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn, and he goes on to break down what Baltimore's getting in the trade. Basically, Roquan Smith has led the NFL in tackles this season, and over the last 5 seasons, only Bobby Wagner has more tackles than Roquan Smith. This is huge because at the end of the day, right, like it shows you where Ryan Poles is with it. And to me, right, I think it kind of shows you that Ryan Poles saw what he needed to see from his star quarterback. And so now you have to start making moves to move guys around the offense, or now you have to start making moves to move guys around to add more to this team. This is crazy that the Bears finally go on and make this move. It's not a move that I wanted, right? But I look at Roquan Smith. He wanted $20+ million a year. I think he's played well enough for you. I wouldn't be mad at you doing this, but Ryan Poles picked a lane, and that lane is, guess what? We're not going to be a very good football team for probably the rest of this year. We're not going to be a very good football team on the defensive end without Robert Quinn, without Roquan Smith. We're going to try and get this draft capital as high as we can. Oh, and guess what? We're also going to try and get as many picks in here to build this team up for the long term. Now, the question is, right, is there more to come? I think that, in my opinion, right, this is the beginning of a mass exodus that could be coming for the Chicago Bears, so stay tuned for news all day. But I think at the end of the day, does it suck to lose Roquan? 100%. I liked him as a Bear. I loved him as a Bear, honestly. I thought that he was a big name for us. I thought that he made big plays for us. I thought that somebody that has been here through the ups and downs of this team is somebody that I'm okay with you compensating. By the way, let me know how you guys feel about the trade in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. But at the end of the day, this comes down to, what is the future of the Chicago Bears team going to be? And if the future of the Chicago Bears team does not include Roquan Smith, then you move on from a guy like that. If the future of the Chicago Bears team does not include Roquan Smith being a part of the team, then you try to get the most that you can. I'm not mad at the compensation that the Bears got back either. A second and a fifth. I thought a second straight up might have been what they get for Roquan, but a second and a fifth is a pretty good compensation, in my opinion, especially when you're picking a direction. I thought Roquan might have been somebody who could have been traded for another player coming back. I would have liked to see that. But I don't think there's anybody on the Ravens that I really wanted for Roquan Smith out there. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the Bears finish out this trade deadline, but the Chicago Bears absolutely being active at the deadline. And I'm not mad at the trade. I'm more mad at the fact that we don't have Roquan Smith anymore the rest of this season. And I think that changes the outlook on your season, right? Like, Roquan wasn't a big part of yesterday's game, but you don't have a ton of linebacker depth. We talked about the linebacker depth coming into this season. It was the one thing that I felt the Chicago Bears were missing most this season. So now you're talking about having even less linebacker depth. Now you're talking about basically Nicholas Morrow being your number one option, which he basically was the Mike in this defense anyway, right? Roquan was playing the Sam role. He was essentially being a much better version of Lance Briggs on this team. So again, I'm not surprised that the Bears move on from Roquan Smith, especially at the price point that he wants. And I'll say this, I wouldn't be surprised if Roquan Smith ends up being a free agent next season anyway, just based on the contract situation that could come, right? Like, yeah, maybe they do want to pay him, and maybe they want that all-star linebacker in their defense. Roquan takes over that Ray Lewis role moving forward. I think Roquan's still going to be one of the best linebackers in the NFL. I think Roquan Smith is still going to be a top player in the NFL. But I think on this defense, right, you saw at the beginning of the season that they didn't believe that Roquan was going to be the number one option for you at that linebacker position. Yeah, he does lead the NFL in tackles. He's an excellent player. He does a lot for you. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe somebody's going to be a part of your team, if you're going to move on from them anyway, that could be a dumb decision, smart decision, however you feel about it. You get back compensation for him. And I like the fact that Ryan Poles went out and he was able to get a second for this. I know there's going to be people, you had to get a first. You're never going to get a first for Roquan Smith. You're not going to get a first for most top linebackers in the NFL anymore. It's just not a position that people are looking to flood a ton of money in, as we've seen as we got into this whole contract dispute, right? So it'll be interesting to see kind of how all of that plays out. But at the end of the day, I think the one thing that we know as Bears fans, right, is that this team ain't going to be very good the rest of the way defensively. There's just not a lot of talent in that linebacker room. There's not a lot of talent on this defense as a whole right now, right? You've got some young talent in that secondary, but you're essentially going all in on the young talent on this team, and you're hoping for the best with them. So hopefully Alan Williams is able to figure some things out. Hopefully he's able to scheme a little bit better than he was in the Dallas game, a game where Roquan really didn't play that well. And again, right, maybe this is the reason why. Roquan had his fewest tackles there. Maybe Roquan saw the writing on the wall. And now the Dallas game defensively makes a lot more sense, right? He had the lowest tackles on the team as a whole in that Dallas game. So maybe now the defense in that game makes a lot more sense. Not having Robert Quinn, maybe Roquan wasn't going as hard, just trying to like save the body and stuff like that. But you know, I mean, this is big. And it's tough, right? And I do want to know you guys' opinion. Let me know in the comments below. The part that's tough for me is, while this may not look like the right move, this may not look like, or maybe it does look like the right move to you, I hate that we had to get rid of talent to go and get maybe talent, right? Like, that's what these picks are, unless you package these picks to go get a young wide receiver or something for Justin Fields. But I hate that we had to get rid of talent. Roquan Smith is a top 3 linebacker in this NFL. I hate that we had to get rid of that to go out and get a maybe. But that's the only part of this that I dislike, right? Like, that's just kind of what the draft is. That's kind of what it comes down to. And you know what? Ryan Poles clearing up more cap space. He's clearing up more money. He's looking to go out and be a big spender in free agency next season. So I think that's something that you absolutely can look in on as well and say, hey, listen, if he goes out there and he finds another top linebacker that maybe fits more of what Flus is looking for, if he goes out there and he finds a defensive lineman, if he goes out there and he gets this offensive line fixed, none of us care about this a year from now. But there's a lot of ifs around that right now. And I think that that's the part that probably is going to stick with Bears fans the longest. But Ryan Poles made his decision. Bears fans, let me know how you guys feel about his decision in the comments below. Let me know how you guys feel about the trade in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. We will also have more content coming with the full crew, basically breaking down this trade, what this means moving forward on the Daily Show tomorrow. So tune in with that as well. That'll be posted at 11 a.m. tomorrow, so make sure that you guys are rocking with us on the Daily Show Monday through Friday. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.